I'm going to ask you all who have your computer with you to go ahead and log into Command. And while you're doing that, I'm going to tell you what we're doing and why we're doing it, because the why is the big piece. So remember, Command is agent.kw.com. If you need the Wi-Fi, it's up here on the podium. So what we have discovered the last few years with COVID is everything that we taught you was fundamentals. This is what you have to do to get a transaction through this system. This is some of the stuff that you can do to lead generate. What we missed, and what some of you have forgotten that maybe you already knew, are some of the bells and whistles. So what we are going to do is monthly, we're bringing back the tech team meeting. So once a month, we are going to highlight something inside of this system that has been there for a while that maybe we forgot about, or it's brand new and you need to leverage it in your business. So what we're focusing on today is actually your opportunities pipeline. Who can tell me what an opportunity is in Command? So it's transactions. What else is it? How you get paid?
Timeline.
How you get paid?
Timeline.
Timeline. Tell me what you mean by that, Joe.
Then it tells you the process to go through each step so you can make sure you're on target with everything going on.
That's exactly it. So it's your pipeline. So most of you, and there is no judgment in this statement, most of you are using the Command Opportunities pipeline on a transactional basis. And that's totally okay. What we're going to show you today is how the system was designed. The system is designed to take away all of the sticky notes that pepper your desk, the random Google Calendar reminders that you have that pop up that say, call your title company, make sure the escrow was dropped off, to call and follow up with your potential leads, to schedule appointments, and to send you automated reminders. And here's the really cool part. It's also going to send automated emails and push notifications to your clients as well, so that they know exactly what's going on transactionally at the same time you're moving them through the system. So it is incredibly robust. And did everybody pick up a copy of the checklist? This is part of what we're going to work off of today. You should have a buyer and seller checklist in front of you. Now, see what it says up here at the top? It says KW Kauai. R&D typically stands for research and development. You know what we call it at Keller Williams? Rip off and duplicate. So our friends at KW Kauai put together this amazing checklist, and this is what we are going to work off of. Now, I don't know if you realize this, but Kauai is in another state. Just in case I had to do some enlightening, Kauai is in Hawaii, so obviously some of their real estate laws are going to be different. And what you do in your business for your clients may be different as well, and that's okay. This is going to be your starting point. So what we are going to work through is starting to set up some of these checklists in Command. Obviously, we've got about 30 minutes left of the team meeting. If we spent the time to put them everywhere, it would be all we do. So we're going to spend a few minutes on that just so that you know what you're doing to continue to do it later. We're going to look at the client updates, and we're going to look at how the pipeline works. Everybody able to get signed into Command? Okay. Thought I gave you enough time on that, but you never know. Sometimes you got to check.
And Joe is slow.
That's fine. He's just the head of our tech committee, that's all. All right, so we're going to go to the opportunities pipeline, which is your handshake. Now, if you're a newer agent in the room, we are not going to go through the whole process of creating an opportunity, the whys and the whats. Looking around the room with the scope of the people here, are we comfortable with creating an opportunity pretty quickly? Yes. So that we have one for an example. Anjali says yes. Okay. Anybody need a little bit of a slowdown to look at it later with me? I love that answer. Fantastic. All right. So I've got my pipeline open here. Now mine might look a little bit different than yours because I have a team pipeline and an individual pipeline. If you are on a team, you will see two here. If you're an individual agent, you'll only see yourself. If you are in coaching, you'll see your coaching team. I'm going to navigate over to my individual pipeline, and this is where you want to be team members on your individual pipeline. What you're going to see here is that pipeline that Joe referenced with a bunch of bubbles. These bubbles are what we call phases. So these are the phases of your transaction. Now, you know at Keller Williams, we use silly language for things. So I'm going to tell you what this actually is. Cultivate is relationship building. This is when you have a real estate opportunity with someone, but it has not been cemented into an appointment or an agreement yet. So you're still cultivating that relationship. It's a lead gen phase. What you're going to have after that is appointment. What do we think is in the appointment phase for a buyer or a seller? We're really in trouble. This is why nobody's sending me points for the contest. What do we think we would see with a buyer appointment or a seller appointment in here? What are they? Consultations and listing presentations, right? Active is active, meaning your buyers are ready to purchase. This is them moving through the process. Active for the seller and listing pipeline is you're putting the listing on the market. They're ready to show it. They're ready to receive offers. Under contract is? Thank you. Sometimes people think I ask really hard questions, but really, they're softballs. So under contract is when you are under contract with your buyers or your sellers, and close is close, when you have your commission check. The reason that you have a closed phase is because your transaction is not done just because you have your check, right? There's things that you need to do, things in MLS, things for the office to make sure your information is dropped off to us and we can process you, and things you do for your client, closing gifts, making sure they're in your database, putting them under a campaign. So these are all designed to help you track where you are with every single transaction that you have in one place. The other nice piece of this are these numbers here. Any guesses what they are?
The number of opportunities you have in each phase.
The amount of opportunities, not transactions, remember, because the two phases for cultivate and appointment, they're not transactions yet. So the amount of opportunities you have per phase. Now you may have some numbers underneath here. If your numbers look like mine, we got a problem. Because mine say that here on my listing pipeline, my volume is 5.45 million. That's my fake pipeline. If I were really doing business, it would be zero. I know my weaknesses and I know my strengths. So it's showing me my volume, and my average time says 894.2 days. What that average time is the time it takes me to move from active to under contract. So if I put a listing on the market, it takes 800 days to go under contract. Do I know that I've got some room to grow? I've got some opportunity in my opportunities, right? So I've got to improve something here. So this is actually going to show you how well you're doing. It's a quick snapshot of the things that you need to improve on. Before we dive into the checklist, just a little bit more here. Over here on this GCI column, you're going to see two words, probable and potential. This is your money tracking. This is what, if everything closed on your pipeline, your potential income would be. Potential is actual. If everything on this pipeline closed, and probable is based on some math. Don't worry, KWRI has already done the math for you. You don't have to calculate anything for this probable income. And then, of course, you'll have a ratio of your business, so you can see if you actually have that perfect golden ratio that Gary has in the MREA, which is, what is your ratio to buyers, sellers in the MREA? What should it be? Ooh, we need the MREA too. We should be looking at least a 50-50.
Oh, yes.
60-40 listing to buyer at the most, because listings bring buyers, right? So you'll see that there, as well as your activity and your closings. Any questions on what the pipeline actually is? Okay, so we're just going to hit this create opportunity button, and we're going to go through this very quickly, because all of you should have a contact in your database that you can do this with, right? Say yes.
Yes.
Because if we don't have contacts in our database, that's a whole other team meeting. All right, so we're going to select your opportunity type. Do we want to start with a listing or a buyer? It doesn't really matter.
Listing.
Listing. Oh, nice. We're going to move our seller through the pipeline so you can see how all this works. I'm just going to do this for myself. You can pick anybody in your database that you'd like to do with the contact. I'm going to leave my opportunity name as my name and listing. The last thing that I am going to change is down here where it says commission rate. Remember, this is your take home. I'm just going to pop in here. Now, this is where most of you start making changes because we're using this transactionally. We change our phase to active and move on, go right to our documents, right? We're gonna leave this in Cultivate because I am in the phase where I am still building a relationship with Amberly Carey. She's not quite ready for me to list her house yet. So I'm gonna create my opportunity. And this should all look familiar to you. You create it, you go right in here. Most of you are going straight to documents, turning it on, going to DocuSign, and away about your business. What we're actually going to do is work through our pipeline now. So you can either hit the handshake here again and open opportunities, or hit sales pipeline in the top left corner. Either will get you where you need to be. Everybody good so far? Opportunity created, back to the pipeline. Okay. So now you'll notice Cultivate has gone from 3 to 4. I have 4 business opportunities where I am building relationships to earn a listing. And that's where we're going to start. Click on Cultivate. Now remember, mine may look different than yours, and that's okay. As we are building this out, yours is going to look different to your neighbors. This is where this comes in. So make sure you have the seller checklist in front of you. We're doing a seller opportunity, right? Not a buyer. What we are going to start changing now are our stages here. So we have a phase, that's the umbrella. The stages are the steps underneath. Most of them are pre-filled in for you. Remember, mine may look different than yours because I have played in this system already. Before we start messing with checklists, I do want you to notice down here at the bottom where it shows you probable and potential again. And this potential, this percentage here. That's where the math comes in. Remember I said KWRI did it for you so you don't have to think about it? This is their average percentage of people who start here at this very beginning nurture phase and get to the closing table. We are so far away from the closing table, we have about a 5% chance of getting a check from this starting spot. That makes sense to everybody? So that's going to calculate our probable income. Now it's showing 0 here for me because I don't have any dollar amount in for the listing. If I have not yet earned the listing appointment and signed the listing agreement, do I know what the listing price is? Do I even know where Amberly Carey lives yet? No. Potentially no. So this 0 here at the starting point makes complete sense. You're going to see these dollar amounts change. Now yours may also show 0, that's totally okay. What we are looking for to start customizing this so that we can track Amberly Carey and everything that she's doing and send her our updates and make sure she's getting our emails. You're looking right here in the top right corner for the button that says Edit Stages. And that's where this comes in. So it looks like a lot of things to do. And I know for some of you that's going to overwhelm you, and this is what I want you to hear. You have to slow down to speed up. You have to take a few minutes and do this on the back end so that every transaction that you do will automatically have this built in. You will not have to do it again unless you edit something here. This is a system, right? Systems require you to slow down and look at what you're doing and fill in your gaps for later. So we are putting a transaction system in here so that everything we do going forward is prepared for us. Make sense? Okay. So you're going to see, once again, mine might look a little bit different than yours. Everything here is completely customizable because everybody here has a different business. They're in the order that they need to happen in. The math is prepared for you by KWRI, and we're looking at this checklist right here. So you'll see the first one for me, because I have been in here playing with this, says 0 of 6. Yours probably says 0, 0, right? Most of you probably don't have something in here yet, and that's okay. And if you do, great. That means you're a step ahead of the game. So click on 0/ whatever the number of checklist items you have are. Show me where you are, Gloria. Go ahead and click the Edit Stages button right here in the top right corner. All right, so we're gonna click on the checklist. And I'm gonna show you how easy this is. These two sitting together are dangerous over there. I'm just saying, if you could see what I see. All right. KW Kauai, as we are R&Ding here, has put in certain things that work for every transaction. So you'll see I have some of them maybe already in here. I can add some. The great thing about Keller Williams is we try to give you an easy button for everything. To add an item, we're going to click Add Item. It's very complicated. So we're going to do Add Item here, and we're just going to match it. So we're looking for Cultivate, and we're going to start with the first line item here. Everything works from right to left so that it matches our pipeline. Make sense? Following? So if we are on Cultivate Nurture, we're looking for Nurture. If you are on Cultivate Watch, you're on the Cultivate Watch list. So it is as simple as this. Type in the item you want to add. So I'll just put in, just gonna shorthand this here so that I can walk through and make sure you're okay. You're gonna type in what you want to include and hit the save button. And now it's on your checklist. So I'm gonna give you a few minutes to start filling this in, and I'm gonna go around the room, make sure you guys are okay. Before I do that, I wanna make sure that you select the checkbox right here that says Client Update. This is where the magic in this system happens. You work in an on-demand business, right? Your clients want to know what they want to know when they want to know it. And if you're working with a lot of them, you're making a lot of phone calls, taking away your lead gen time. This is going to help you update your clients automatically. They are going to get an email, a little envelope icon, when you are moving them through the pipeline. And we're going to practice moving them through the pipeline after we get some checklist items in here. We can see how the checklists work. But make sure as you are adding them, you're selecting the client update.
But only if you want them.
Only if you want them to get that.
So do you have the option of setting a time of when you want to do them?
Yes, we're going to look at that as well. Great question. How's everybody doing?
I'm lost too.
Okay, give me just a second. You need to be on your pipeline. And then it should be under Cultivate here. And you're looking for whatever one you just started. So usually towards the bottom. See, just making sure that you know where you're looking. You have a different view, which is fine. These are all of your, all the way up. All the way up. Who was it who needed me?
No worry, Joe's volunteering to get tech tips.
That's absolutely fine, and I would love that. But you don't get to volunteer him on.
Of course I do.
All right. Of course.
Have you met her?
You are disruptive.
I mean,
So what you're looking for here, so Gloria, what you have to do, you have to do your data page. So let me know about that. So this is where you got a little confusion going on. You're here in your buyer pipeline. Okay. So you want to be in our seller pipeline. So we're looking for this. Did you do a seller or buyer opportunity? That's okay. So let's just open our listings here. And you're going to do United States here. And that's where you're going to find the map down items. That's all right. Don't worry about any of that. We're here in edit stages. Back up. We're here in edit stages, and this is where you're going to fill in those items in.
Okay, so now I'm at edit stage.
So you have to go back to your pipeline. You are in the transaction pipeline. So just go to your listing pipeline.
I added all of them and I didn't save.
Did you hit the save button?
Am I adding a state?
No, give me just a second, Gloria. You're in, click the, do you see where it says 0 of 0 in the checklist?
All right, we did that. We're good.
So right here, Gloria. Right there. Yep, and then you're just gonna add item.
Right?
So you wanna make sure you're on the seller checklist, that's what we're here. So
How
cultivate
many
watch, so you're gonna do watch here,
checklist?
you're gonna have these line items.
You should be joining my workshop. I'll get rid of that.
Now remember, once you get all these in here, if you're a fast typer, you wanna make sure you hit your save button, because we don't auto-save in here, which is a big womp womp. So you have to hit save, or you will lose your word. And I would hate to see that happen.
that at the end of each item?
Once you complete the list. So you're gonna add all the items that you wanna add, Mary Beth, and then you're gonna hit save. If you have moved past watch and you're into nurture, you're just gonna hit your next checklist item and so forth. Make sense?
Oops.
I love
Alright,
oops.
so I typed the first one in, but now we're going.
Okay, you're just gonna come down and you are gonna save it here. And then you're gonna get, oh, this might be what happened. There we go, add item.
Okay,
so
save that.
Yes.
Each one.
And then
That's
save
what I
as.
thought.
As soon as you hit
That one?
save, it should be popping up that add item, I don't know why it's double prompted.
So I had just these, not
So we're gonna match them, so we're gonna pull that here for you, because this looks like something that you added yourself. We're gonna start with nurture, like the checklist here. So yours are actually yours are in different order for that here. We're gonna do the. So we're just gonna change that a watch. And now we're gonna match the probability to the tires, and then save, and now we're gonna start with our checklist for watch. Right there. And we're gonna add, let's add item, so we're under watch here. And we're gonna start with that checklist.
this one right here.
Yes, ma'am.
All of them.
Yep, so you're gonna do like that phone number, please, type that in there, and then hit save, make sure you check the client update box.
So under neighborhoods, we'll have all this stuff, I'm not even on that.
Now you can shorthand it.
Oh,
Remember-
so I am adding it.
Remember, this is a guideline, if it's something that you don't want to add or something you want to change, that's okay.
Okay.
So this is get neighborhoods, this is basically add them to smart plans,
I could just put like get neighborhoods and then do like.
add to smart plans.
Okay.
How we doing? Now these are, as you're looking at these checklists, things that you should be doing with your clients, right? Putting them into your system, putting them on drip campaigns, making sure that you have accurate contact information. How would you track your Cody? I'm used to people walking. All right, I'm gonna give you a couple more minutes on that, and then we're gonna start working through the pipeline because we are close to the end of our meeting. But here's the point. You now know how to do this. So it's the slow down to speed up. Give you about another minute, and then we're gonna work through our pipeline, and we're going to look at how to customize the emails that go out to our clients, and the dates that Melissa referenced, the tasks, all that's relatively quick. We just have to have something to work through here.
Is it each client or is it automatic?
This is your system, Earl. So once you do this, this is set up for every opportunity you do going forward.
So
All
I
right,
did all the watch stuff, then how do I add phase 2?
so hit that save button so that you get back to the screen, Mary Beth.
Yep.
And then you just go to the next checklist section.
Nurture?
So you just click right there, yep.
Good.
Mine is
So
different
am I
than
going
yours.
down this way or across?
You're going right to
Right.
left. Okay. You're gonna go right to left. And mine will look different than yours as we work through here because I played with this. I've never met a system I didn't like.
So when do we
Alright,
get
so-
individual time?
I'm sorry, say again?
When do we get individual time?
We have open tech help time on Tuesdays at 11, and Andrew has Wednesdays and Fridays at noon. All right, so what we're looking for now is this button just above Edit Cultivate Stages in the top left where it says Back to Listings Cultivate. Now we're gonna get some practice moving this through the pipeline and looking at dates and reminders. So when you click on that, it should take you back to this screen. Everybody good there? Yes, no, maybe so?
Yes.
All right.
Wait, do you need to go back there?
You are looking in your top right corner above the word that says edit. you're looking for back to your pipeline. All right, so the very first column is where you are going to find your opportunity because you are working far left, right here. You are working from left to right. So now, when we come back in here, we should be seeing our checklist number. You see in the bottom right corner of your opportunity, your checklist numbers, where it says 0 of 6 for me? Are we seeing that? So you should, did you create an opportunity, Melissa?
I did, but I did it under buyers.
So if you created a buyer opportunity, Mary Beth, and you put checklist in for listings, you're not gonna see that.
Okay.
So what you should see now, if you created your listing opportunity and put in checklist items, is that it's now updated. Mine says client opportunities off, because I haven't turned them on. But yours should say client updates, on with a number of items. This is done for me. Every opportunity that I start, my checklist is waiting. Now, to Melissa's point, things have dates in real estate, right? You have certain timelines by which you have to complete things. That's where this checklist comes in. Now that we have it preloaded, we're going to fill it in for our transaction. When you click on it, you are going to see all of the checklist items that you pre-created, and as you hover over them, you'll see set due date. Because every transaction that you do is going to have a different timeline, right? You may have 5 listings and they're all in a different spot. How can I help you?
I just am shocked that I did not know this today.
That's the best thing I've heard all day.
But I'm almost 60 and I just know that.
And see, this is that, Melissa, thank you for saying that, because that is exactly why we're bringing this stuff back into team meeting. Because there is so much amazing stuff inside of Command that y'all forgot, or you don't even know is there, that will help you run your business, and on top of that, save you money. Because so many of you are spending money on outside services that you don't need to spend. Put it back into your pocket or back into your business. So when you hover over these checklist items, you're gonna see set due date. And I can now tell it exactly when I need to complete this task. Whether it's something specific for me to do, like make a phone call and get an email address to this person so I can put them on a drip campaign, or call the buyer and make sure they dropped off escrow, or set a reminder to myself to mark my listing sold in MLS, right? This is all going to be in here. So I'm gonna have you practice one. Hover over one of your checklist items and do set due date. And I'm actually going to have you set this for 12 noon today. That is 5 minutes from now. I will release you into the wild in 5 minutes. So once you select your date and time, click OK. And now you'll see right here that the checklist is telling me I have something to do on June the 16th at 12 o'clock. Everybody good? Okay. So I'm just going to do just the one item. And now I'm going to close it, and we're going to move it through the pipeline. Now, because I have preloaded some of my checklist items, pay attention to your checklist number in the bottom right corner as we move from one section to the next. To do that, we're going to hover over it until we see the hand. Click and simply drag it. It'll turn sideways. That's how you know you got it. Drop it where you want it to be, which is the second stage. Let it go. And notice my checklist has automatically updated as well. Now instead of saying 0 of 6, it says I have 0 of 3 items to complete. It's doing my work for me. I don't know about y'all. People call them easy buttons, I call them lazy buttons. This is a lazy button. We like it. So as you move through your pipeline with your checklist intact, when you are working on your transactions, you can come into your checklist and figure out exactly what you need to do. Now, how do you mark them complete? When you've done it, you'll see a white box right next to the name of the item.
And it also shows up on your task list.
Yes, and I'm gonna show you that. We're gonna look at tasks real quick, and then we're gonna look at where you can find the guides if you wanna see what they're receiving and customize those in the business. So you simply put a check mark there, and they're done. Now, any questions on this before we look at the consumer guide and the tasks?
Is there I have a lot to do to input data in, data out.
That's all right.
But part of the reason I'm not good about putting a lot of my opportunities into opportunities is because I haven't found an easy way to look at all my opportunity. Like when you go to all opportunities, it's got all my closed data. It's not an easy way to view.
So
things.
I understand that. Have you used the filter option?
Yeah, I actually was exploring that yesterday, but
There's also, we can talk about this
Mhm.
outside of here, Jen.
yeah.
But you can use the filter option. There's also inside of the opportunities a tag option where you can tag them the same way you put your contacts.
Right.
And you can segment out that
Yeah,
way.
just to get the, in my mind, my opportunities would be opportunities, and my closed would be in a separate file.
Totally hear you.
Yeah.
See me after. We can
Okay.
talk about that.
Okay.
Oh, there's the opportunity.
Any questions about this before we move to the tasks and the consumer guides? How do we feel about this?
Excited. I'm excited to
It's
get
pretty
into
cool,
this.
right? So-
I got like 35 things that took me a long time. I got a lot of cleanup.
Hey, listen, while you're putting in your checklist, Lori, we got an archive button. All right.
They're
So-
closed, you have to move.
All right, what we are gonna do now is look at our task manager quickly and at where to find the consumer guides if you do wanna customize them. Most important thing that you need to have on your cell phone is the KW Command app. Because most of us aren't gonna walk around with our laptop like this all day, holding it at showings and clicking buttons and connecting to hotspots. We got our cell phone though. We got a little computer we carry around in our pocket. So you will get your reminders in this system and mobile if you have the KW Command app. So if I come over to my applets here on the left, the third one down says tasks. It's going to be separated into two: contact-based tasks and opportunity tasks. What are we clicking on? Opportunity, gold star for DeMaria, all right? So we are viewing all of our tasks. What you are gonna see now is the list of things you have to do. You're gonna see our reminder right here of things that are due today, as well as things that are past due. You can filter this by things that are due today, things that are past due, custom time ranges, just to find what you're looking for. The nice thing about this is it's gonna tell you the opportunity that it's associated with and the contact, so the person you need to reach out to when you are completing these tasks.
We're on the app, you're saying that this is in our app.
I'm gonna show you, well, I'm gonna tell you. You'll get push notifications, Toby, the same way that you will get a text message. You'll get a notification that says, hey, Toby, you need to do X task, just like you have an email pop up or a text message pop up. Because the first thing you touch when you wake up and the last thing you touch before you go to sleep is your cell phone. So we know we've got it in our hands at all times. So we've got a couple of icons over here on the side. These are important because this is how you're gonna tell the system you're doing your job, and it's gonna update your opportunity. Your check mark is complete. The alarm clock with the Z on it is snooze. So you'll get that pop up on your phone, right? That says, hey, Katrina, you need to call Toby. You can hit that snooze button and it'll have you pick a new date and time so that it will pop up when it is a more convenient time for you to complete that. And the trash can icon is complete, as we are used to. Questions about that? So on your KW Command app, in addition to getting those push notifications, you can actually see your tasks right on the dashboard. So you can see your opportunity tasks and your contact tasks as soon as you open the app and work through those. Here's the real beauty of Command, as if this wasn't enough. The real beauty of Command is that it's a platform, which means whatever you change in one spot changes everything else. So if you are calling someone for an opportunity task and you click the task in your app and click to call Nancy Lane, guess what it does to Nancy Lane's contact card? It updates her in command and said you had a phone call with her at 12:01 on June the 16th. So it's updating your database for you as well.
And does it allow you to, if it says text them, will it allow you to text or the fully assistant?
Yes, ma'am.
Lord have mercy.
All right. Any questions on the tasks before we look at our last piece? Okay. So I'm just gonna close out of here. I already have it open. Your guide builder, so the guides that are associated to your pipeline are sent out as a push notification if they are using your branded app, or they get via email. They are pre-built here for you. I'm gonna walk you through how to get here. When you are moving them from one stage to another in the pipeline, so from nurture to watch, or from active to under contract escrow, they'll get a push notification on their phone and they will get an email. These are fully customizable. I recommend that you look at them. Make sure they sound like something you say. If there's something special you do for your client, include it. So it's the very last icon here on the left in your applet. It's your consumer applet. This is where your website is, your app is, and your guide is. So anything public facing to your people lives right here. You're looking for the Guide Builder tab in the top center. And you'll see the buyer and seller guides here, and it'll show you the number of steps and the number of potential clients that could be receiving this. These are your number of contacts in your database. To edit them, look for your meatball menu all the way to the right, the three little dots. Make it very simple. Edit guide. And we give you one choice, so you can't mess that up. And you'll see what it looks like here. These are the things that they are getting when they are getting app notifications and emails from you. I'm going to show you a preview of what the emails look like, but you can click on any of them and start updating.
They're not receiving this until we have approved them to
So-
receive it.
They are going to receive it if you put client updates on your pipeline checklist.
Okay.
So they only receive that if you have the client updates on. This is what the emails look like when they go to your client. They're always branded to you. You have the Market Center logo, not the cute little dog here at the Grand Canyon or wherever it is. It's gonna tell them their name. Here's a summary of things that we've done for your transaction so far, as well as the checklist items that you have input. And once again, branded to you with a clickable link to download your app.
So how did you, where is the template on it?
So these are here in this guide builder area, Melissa. So go to your consumer section down here, bottom left. Gloria? Love hearing that too, because it means we're learning today. And then you're on the guide builder tab, Gloria. And these things are editable, customizable. You can start messing with them, just click on them, and that's where the changes.
And I just checked the client updates, just making sure that I know what my clients are receiving. The client update defaults to off until you turn it on.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. Was this helpful today?
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
It's amazing he's gonna implement this.
And I would say,
work,
We could absolutely do a workshop around this if you'd like to have one.
like when it, you know, this week for an hour, we're all gonna work.
Yeah, listen, I'm good with that.
well, we are,
This is good information.
yeah. So if you guys don't know, on Wednesday afternoon at 4:30 on Zoom, Dan Tamarkin and I, with about 70 other agents around the country, are building this for you. I mean, we're all doing it together. So, I mean, now knowing how to do this, I'm like so excited. I mean, we've got like 200 steps, how to create a great experience, but it's this. But now I know how to do it here. I'm so excited.
All right, so there's an aha from Gloria, an aha from Melissa, Katrina.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does this system yet have if this then that technology where stuff auto happens or not yet?
Not yet. Not yet, and that is coming with the smart plans first. With smart. What she's asking, for those of you who don't know what that means, is different triggers based on how the person interacts with your smart plan. If they open it and click on it, then it will take them to a certain page and move them to a next step, versus everybody getting the exact same thing, getting the exact same interaction type. All right, I want to hear from one more person who learned something today before I release you into the wild. I said one, and I'll stand here. I'm good.
Okay, I'm gonna admit, I never, when Andrew does the, and I'm listening in on classes, I never knew how to get those little Post-it looking things, because I'm always on this page of my opportunities. And so I'm really excited that all you have to do is click in and see those little Post-its, because it's a visual.
And it's fun to watch it move.
Yeah.
All right, any comments, questions, concerns before you go for the day?
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was
Very
great.
much.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you got some value out of it. Sharon, anything you want to add?
First of all, I want to thank you all for being here. It's great to see all your faces. I want you to tell me, who do I need to know to grow our office? And I want feedback from you on some great team meeting ideas. We're going to be excited